Ayo, thanks for tuning into the Sauce, your source for celebrity news.
Ayo, thanks for tuning into the Sauce, your source for celebrity news. Do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why don't you go ahead and do that too? Alright y'all, as y'all know, this week we've had a whole lot of beefs. I mean, you had Pooh Shiesty against Gucci Mane. You had little Tjay and his crew against Offset. But no beef has been bigger and more dangerous than that beef between Trick Daddy and the AKAs. Alright, so as we already reported to you earlier this week, Trick Daddy was very upset and hurt after the AKAs invited him to perform at one of their step competitions. And then, while he was on the stage, they realized that his lyrics and his actions were not conducive with the standards upheld with the illustrious ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So, they pulled the plug on his performance and kicked him off the stage. Now, according to Trick Daddy, he wasn't going to say anything until the AKAs released a statement apologizing to the rest of the AKAs for the fact that they had to sit through his hot mess of a performance. And then, he really got mad when the AKAs turned around and thanked Uncle Luke for the performance that he did at the same concert. Well now, Trick Daddy, who refuses to let anybody throw mud on his name, has released video showing that the same women who said that his music was too ratchet for their standards were up out of their seats, strolling to that ratchet music.
Set it off. 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 Like you my ladies on this mother. You are my ladies on this motherfucker. They say the niggas ain't heroes. Ain't worth about. Get stabbed like.
Alright, so after Trick Daddy dropped that video and proved that the AKAs were indeed up out of their seats dancing and doing an AKA stroll during his performance, Florida Senator Randolph Bracy jumped online to issue an apology to Trick Daddy, and he said, "I know what it's like to be lied on, but please, Trick Daddy, if you could find it in your heart to forgive the AKAs and also not to take this incident out on the entirety of Orange County, Florida, I would greatly appreciate it."
Trick, my boy, listen, I understand how you feel being lied on. I've endured some of the worst lies stemming right from Orange County. Some egregious lies, unbelievable. So I know how you feel. But I just want to say to you, don't hold it against all of Orange County. And don't hold it against the AK organization. There's still some good people in Orange County. There's still some good people in the AKA organization. But you keep doing you. Be you. Believe me. I'm gonna hit you soon, alright?
Now, after Trick Daddy posted his video where he showed that the AKAs were up out of their seats dancing, and also Florida Senator Randolph Bracy issued that apology, a couple of AKAs jumped online and pointed out the fact that Trick Daddy failed to show you the part of the concert where he was like, "Look at my D, not in my stomach." Listen, I think Trick Daddy and the AKAs are just gonna have to call it a truce. Alright, so with regard to this whole Pooh Shiesty Gucci Mane kidnapping / robbery, a whole lot of people are wondering whether or not Gucci Mane spoke to the police. And the answer is yes, according to Pooh Shiesty's attorney, who did a press conference the other day and said that Gucci Mane spoke to the police the night of the incident, but hasn't spoke to them ever since.
I'm just shocked that, you know, when they say there might be video out there, they don't have it. There might be this mystery contract, they don't have it. Oh, they were at Staples, you know, making copies. It's just a total guess. So, like, we're not here to guess. I'm here to look at the evidence, to weigh the evidence, and to make the best decision based on that evidence.
What your client is staying in detention until what?
Yeah, currently he'll stay in detention. Get discovery. We'll start going through that. There's going to be several motions that we're going to file, obviously, in the next couple of weeks, but that'll all come out and we can cut up.
So did the feds even interview any of the people? Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements. But I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So RG never made a statement as of now?
Not to the FBI, but that evening it appears from the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see.
Alright, so after Pooh Shiesty's attorney basically said that Gucci Mane gave a statement to the police the night that the incident took place, a whole lot of people came into the comment section, and one person said, so he told yesterday but not today. Man. And then somebody else said, so he didn't make a statement to the FBI but made a statement to who then? I'm kinda confused about this. None to be confused about. The police are not the feds. And then somebody else said, they trying their best to make him a snitch. What's the point? Street credibility? Listen, you guys can argue amongst yourselves about whether or not Gucci Mane's a snitch, because I already told you what I think. If you're the victim of a crime and you're not a participant, you can't be a snitch. But T.I.'s son King would disagree with me, because King believes that being a snitch is simply being someone that helps the police put somebody else in jail.
King gotta get his hair braided.
If you helped put somebody in jail, yo is a rat.
All allegedly, but the Pooh Shiesty out tripping again. He had his house on, he had his monitor on. The had on an angle monitor, my He said he is cooked. Bruh, no way he just cooked himself like that. I'm trying to think, what a gotta do to get me that mad?
Not all the siblings, but most of them.
Nah, man, there was a better way to handle that.
I am vlogging for my YouTube.
If you was gonna go street,
no,
you
his name is
couldn't do
King.
it like that. That was terrible.
I got press-ons, cause I got.
Nah, you wanna know what I really did? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, cause you loud, baby.
My ear up.
Go ahead,
You know
though.
what that feel like?
Go ahead though.
You wanna know what I think it is? I think Pooh Shiesty thought that gonna keep it gangster.
He was supposed to.
That what was supposed to happen. I think that
But back to what
I
I
thought
was
he was just like, alright, you a street I know you a street
That's why they did
so
it.
we gonna handle it like a street But I ain't gonna lie. As soon as they seen a white man in that room with a camera, he should have knew it was a board mission.
So, after everything went down between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka jumped online to share a word of the day, and that word was this.
Hey, look, man, word of the day, man, right? I don't care what a person do, how they treat you, what they do to you. You stay real. You remain real. I know I get, bro. I know it. Don't ask me. I'm how you look or what you look like or how it sound. If you know you real, stick to it. I'm telling you, everybody reveal themselves in time. But just because somebody do lame shit, busted shit, etc., that don't mean you change. You stay real.
After Waka Flocka shared that message, somebody jumped in the comment section and said, he talking to Gucci. And then somebody else said, go help your boy out and get his jewelry back. Okay, so this right here is hilarious. The other day, a local news station accidentally posted YFN Lucci's face in replace of Big 30's when they were talking about Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty robbing and kidnapping Gucci Mane. So now, a whole bunch of people believe that YFN Lucci is Big 30 and he kidnapped and robbed Gucci Mane.
They said this is Big 30.
That's hilarious, but probably not for YFN Lucci. Here's my question. Can you sue a news station when they plaster your face all over the news saying that you did something that you didn't do? And speaking about people calling you out for doing something that you may not have done, a lot of people are calling out Big Boy from Outkast, saying that he's a red cap wearing Trump supporter who's actually MAGA and he needs to be canceled.
Big Boy from the group Outkast is the latest black entertainer to be outed as an alleged MAGA member. People online went to Big Boy's following list and discovered he's not only following Trump, he's also following an account called The Real Trumplicans, the White House, and the president's wife Melania Trump.
Okay, so here's the thing. Whoever's out here making these AI-generated videos in which they accuse people of believing things that they have no idea whether or not that person actually believes needs to stop it. Because you can't tell what somebody believes just by looking at the channels that they follow. For example, if you were to look at all of the people I follow, you would see CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, PBS. You would also see that I follow the conservatives and the Democrats in addition to some white supremacist groups too. Why? Because I like to know what everybody's doing. Tell me something. Are you somebody who's like, I'm a Democrat, so I only follow and watch Democratic things? Or are you somebody who's like, I'm a conservative, so of course I only follow and watch conservative things? Or are you somebody who's like, listen, things are getting crazy out here, so cuff that. I'm keeping my eye on everybody. Anyhow, you know how these rappers like to run around saying that they only date the baddest biatches, high-level elite dom pieces, 10s or better, with big bodacious booties and Coke bottle shapes with the face to match, baddies that none of these regular around-the-way low-down broke chicks can even compare to? Well, the other day, after Mano was over there saying that he only date the baddest biatches, Jim Jones and the boys decided to put Mano on blast by showing photos of the real types of chicks that Mano's really dealing with.
I put up a carousel on my Instagram of like 7-8 girls coming to see me while I was locked up. Okay? Do you know I got into arguments with because they was like, oh, those girls is chopped because
I was gonna say that, but I know you was gonna say what? I'm not. Listen. No.
Now, I know what you're thinking because you're over there probably thinking the same thing that Jim Jones is thinking. But the problem is not the chicks. The chicks are all decent looking chicks. The problem is that dudes like Mano have egos that are so fragile that when they're with their boys, they lie and make it seem like they're dating some chick that's like 20 out of 10. Halle Berry in the face, Kim K in the bust, Cardi B in the waist, Megan Thee Stallion in the backside, Beyonce in the hips, SZA in the legs with Nicki Minaj sized feet. When the reality is they're just regular dudes out here dating regular chicks, but they don't like to admit it. So when they're around their boys or they're online talking about these chicks, they make up fantasy chicks that don't exist anywhere except in their mind. So now they jump online talking about they only date the baddest biatches, got you sitting over there looking at your chick sideways because she's sitting next to you with the bonnet on, and you're thinking to yourself, damn, how come I can't bag a chick like them? When in reality, your chick looks better than theirs. Listen, let me know down below. What do you think about Jim Jones and them blowing up Mano's spot by showing the photos of Mano's real carousel of women? But you know what? This story actually reminded me of the fact that Kodak Black is now trending after he posted a video of himself where he was over there booed up with some chick who was over there kissing him on the cheek. And then, after he posted the video, mad people came into the comment section like, excuse me, Kodak, were you aware that the woman that you were over there booed up with is actually a man? Alright, so after people saw that clip and they saw that Kodak Black was over there getting ready to link up with a man, one person said, he's so high it probably wouldn't even matter to him. And then somebody else was like, shaking my head. After that, somebody else came through and said, serious question, why would they even do that ish? And you know that's a straight man. Like, do you not think about the reaction that could have happened if he was a crash out? Let me tell you something, Kodak Black is so hopped up on that stuff right about now that he could have hit the cheeks and still wouldn't have noticed. Hopefully, Kodak Black was surrounded by some people who were sober and had enough sense to whisper in his ear and let him know what was up before things went too far. Alright, so here's a serious warning for everybody out in these streets who's spending money. When you go to these stores and you buy something and they give you change back for the bill that you gave them, make sure that you look at your money carefully because some people are out here giving out fake money in the form of usher bills.
Man, this why y'all gotta check your money, man. You be hustling, doing all type of man. I'm over here, come from the store. I'm like, who the is this? This not Benjamin? With the usher on $100 bill? This gave me a usher bill. Nigga, I thought this was Franklin. This is Usher, my fucking way.
Alright, so first off, I would be upset if somebody gave me a counterfeit bill, but I would be doubly upset if I looked down and found out it was an Ursha bill. I mean, do you know how bold you have to be to hand off an Ursha bill? So like I said, make sure you look at your change when they give it back to you before you get stuck with some Ursha bills. Alright, so what's next? Somebody needs to tell Toni and them to get back round to the house because they left Tjay in the house to babysit his grandson, and this is what happened.
Damn. It's too much.
Alright, so after people saw Tjay over there shaking that crib like he don't have a lick of sense and he's never raised kids before, the comment section went crazy. And one person said, get him out of that Handmaid's Tale crib. He want to go to the studio. Then somebody said, the cradle gonna fall apart the way you rocking it. After that, somebody else said, what in the church basement crib is going on? And after that, somebody else said, Tjay, that's not gonna work. Pick him up and just sing to him. Listen, Tjay has about 16 billion kids, so I don't understand why he's sitting over there acting like he never saw a baby before. Alright, so peep this. The baby is a little upset because he said that one night he was in a club, and while he was in the club, some strange dude rolled up to him and gifted him a painting that had his own daughter's two faces on a painting. So now the baby is saying that he feels that it's highly inappropriate for a grown behind man to be painting pictures of his daughters.
And another thing too, man, is y'all starting to get on my nerves. Talking about Buddy with this painting of my two of my daughters that he presented to me outside of a nightclub or whatever. First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into, like, you know, grown ass men discussing my daughters, painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play like that, to each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Picture of your daughters, let thank them, and then show them some appreciation. Number two, I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number three, you see what I'm saying? You feel a way about, you know, the principles I stand on with my kids and how far I go to protect them. That ain't none of my concern. Be more grateful to it. Let's go.
Okay, so after the baby said that he had a problem with the man painting his daughters and then giving him the painting as a gift, a whole lot of people weren't rocking with him in the comments because one person said, Ninja just made an excuse. Just say you ain't like it. And then somebody else said, I hate when the comments give them excuses and they run with it. Just say you didn't want it, period. And then after that, somebody else was like, obviously a fan who thought he was doing something good. It's a little deeper. He would have accepted it from a female. This world has gotten people crazy. Alright y'all, so what do y'all think? I need y'all to weigh in. Was it inappropriate and out of bounds for a man who's obviously an artist to paint a picture of the baby's two daughters and then gift it to him in the club? Now, it appears that the feds allegedly pay attention to everything that's going on social media because, according to Tokyo Toni, the Fed showed up at her house to question her about the fact that she was online the other day saying that she wanted to Marvin Gaye her daughter, Black China.
Social media threat?
I didn't threat. I said I'm a Marvin Gaye and I said I'm gonna do demon time on the floor. Wait a minute, because we had a podcast and I put her on it. She was dancing to my Aunt Shaka Khan. So I said I'm gonna dance to Marvin Gaye. I said I'm all demon time that down to the floor. So I used that metaphor to put it over there to connect it because that's the last thing we did together. was that. And if you go look on my YouTube or type in Tokyo Toni documentary, please type that in. Tokyo Toni documentary. 5 months ago, it went all the way till it got to me in the hotel because I didn't know what happened. How did I get set up and lose everything? What the happened? I just found out what happened. So I said, let me fill it in. What would you have said? And if you go look at the videos, baby, it says this is 2019. I can't wait till 2022. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Listen. I can't prove this, but if I had to guess, I don't think that the feds showed up at Tokyo Toni's house at all to question her about what she said about Black China. If I had to guess, I would say that it's more likely that Tokyo Toni hired 2 white guys to come stand at her door so that she could go viral. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, because somebody else came in the comment section and was like, that's not the FBI. Listen, let me know what y'all think. Do you believe that the feds actually showed up at Tokyo Toni's door to question her about the fact that she said that she was going to Marvin Gaye Black China? Alright, so check this out. The other day, after Ebro found out that Offset allegedly got popped by Little Tjay and his boys for allegedly owing Little Tjay $10K, Ebro disclosed the fact that Offset also owes him $5K. But after making the original statement, Ebro jumped back online to apologize to Offset because he said, as a grown man, he should have never put another grown man's business out on the streets like that.
Talking about Offset having a gambling problem.
Didn't you and Offset have a bet?
He owes me $5,000.
Oh, God.
He does.
24 hours later.
I want to apologize to Offset, though, because when we were talking yesterday about this story and you asked me if he owed me money, I didn't know there was going to be this day-long pile-on. Like, I don't know and didn't realize that all people were going to start claiming that Offset owes them money. Me and Offset made a goofy bet at the Super Bowl.
And it only came up because the story was about gambling, and when we started talking about debts and gambling, I remembered
because I tweeted about it at the time.
It was silly, and
it was silly.
I remember that you had a bet with him. I didn't know that it was going to go that way.
Right, and then when I heard the story yesterday, it didn't seem that egregious. And now when I'm hearing the details, and the details started coming out yesterday, I didn't realize Lil Tjay and Offset really had a problem. I thought this was just cats. Yeah. They got into it with some other cat. I didn't know what was going on. So I want to apologize to Offset because that's my guy.
Did you reach out to him?
Yeah, I reached out to him yesterday, and we was laughing in the text. But I still felt terrible seeing my name.
Ebro says Offset owes him $5,000.
Yeah, it was like, bruh, you know. So, look, that's my bad, because we get up here, we get chatty, we goofing around, cracking jokes.
But you also did the joke very dry, which you do sometimes.
Yeah.
You didn't, like, smile during it. You were like, yeah, you owed me. But you were, like, you didn't think that was going to become the narrative.
Yeah, but people are going to chop it. And that's what happened, and that's why I'm apologizing.
So there's also, we appreciate the apology, but
congratulations. Let me tell you something. Ebro is foolish ish, because the only reason why we were all talking about Offset yesterday is because we found out that he got popped outside the casino. Now, anybody with a lick of sense was able to sort of figure out that it most likely had something to do with the fact that Offset owed somebody some money, because it's very apparent that the man has a gambling addiction. So for you to jump on your show yesterday talking about, yeah, he owed me $5,000 too, there's no reason to say that except for the fact that you were over there trying to play him, and you wanted a quick soundbite that would make people come watch your show because your show's not doing that good, and you wanted the numbers to go up. Because for you to come out and be like, I didn't know it was going to go down like that, I didn't know everybody else was going to pile on, it doesn't matter what everybody else did, because if that's your man's, you wouldn't have put his business out there in the first place, especially after you just heard that it got popped. Now, since we're talking about Offset, let me tell you what I don't understand about these dudes that are out in the street like Little Tjay. If Cardi B jumped online and told you that her ex-husband was a deadbeat that stuck her with a $50,000 a month debt,
how you left me with a $50,000 a month bill that I didn't even ask you $1 for,
then why on earth would you think that that same dude was going to be honorable and pay you back the money that he borrowed from you? See, there's a simple rule when it comes to lending money, and this is what Little Tjay and all his boys need to understand. The rule is simple, and it goes a little something like this. Don't ever lend somebody money that you can't afford to lose. Yes, when people borrow money, they should pay it back. But you gotta understand as the lender that the minute that money leaves your hand, there's a good chance that it's never coming back. And that's why Oprah Winfrey once said that she never lends people money unless she's ready for that person to walk out of her life. Now, since we mentioned Ebro, we might as well mention another radio personality. The other day, DJ Clue did an interview and now he's getting a little backlash after he said that there's no such thing as underground rap. And when the dude who was interviewing him sort of pressed him a little bit more and was like, okay, if there's no such thing as underground rap, then how come mainstream radio doesn't play dudes like Rocky Marciano, who are real rappers and real lyricists? DJ Clue kind of got flustered and said that the reason why he doesn't play those records is because the gatekeepers won't let him.
I don't think, to be honest, I don't think the label underground really is relevant anymore because of the internet. There's no underground.
I mean, if you was to ask somebody who was the hottest guy on the East Coast on the internet right now, they're gonna say Rock Marcy. They're gonna say Rock Marciano. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Do you play rock on 105?
No, I don't.
Why not? Because he's an underground artist? How could you not be playing somebody of that magnitude? This should be studied.
It's not about the audience that at Powers, like, is a little bit different. It's a different type of algorithm. Like,
that's why we call it the underground.
No, but it's not that I wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
The powers that be, like, they're gonna say something if you start playing like I could play like maybe like that. That's something I could play like on Fridays, like just like how, you know what I'm saying. But then it's like, you know, there's different when you say the algorithm and with music, it's like different. Like we go off like everything else. We play, but there's also like, you know, we have analytics. Like we play certain even no artists and we get tune outs.
Alright, so after people heard that interview and they heard DJ Clue over there trying to explain why they don't play certain artists, a whole lot of people came in the comment section, and one person said, when Clue started stuttering, you know he trying to finesse his way out of the situation the best he could. That ish needs to be studied. And then somebody else said, powers that be, payola. After that, somebody else added, as long as they play the same 5 songs 15 times a day for 3 months, there will always be an underground. Then somebody else said, he dancing. Last but not least, somebody else said, the powers that be, bros, we've been in the game for 45 years. Break free. Listen, we all know that the industry props up certain artists and they also suppress other artists who they know are not going to play the game. And I know Rocky Marciano very well, and he's a very smart guy who's not getting ready to tap dance for any of these record labels, so they're never going to give him the same spins that they give to other artists who have half his talent. On top of that, the music industry is purposely trying to dumb down the music, and because of that, you will never ever hear from some of the most talented artists in the world if you only listen to the popular radio stations. Now, get this. Dandre Whitfield is tired of hearing that men aren't sensitive. So, he posted this video to prove that men do have a sensitive side.
Hey! Whoever said that black men don't have a sensitive side to them, watch this. This is what I found. Hey! Nobody wants to be alone. Hey! If you touched by words and songs. Hey! Baby, you got it. Hey, look here. This is what black men do, okay? We everything. We everything.
I just love that. Anyhow, for everybody out there who's like Sauce, I wanted to see the whole press conference where Pooh Shiesty's attorney was speaking, but you only showed us a part. I'm gonna end this video by showing you that entire press conference in its entirety.
COHEN, Psalms Negative. Hold on now.
Any questions? Just look straight at this.
Yeah, thank you. So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what was made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night, and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that, that I thought was quite embarrassing, was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoop.
You're essentially arguing they've got me a he said kind of case. No evidence.
Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is it's a he said type of a case. I mean, obviously there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio where no one is in concert with anybody else. No one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual. And I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual. And I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to the judge saying that, your client still violated the terms of this make monitor location?
Sure. Those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had. How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who's sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship, because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
How far away is this from trial?
Oh, who knows? We're going to get discovery. We'll take a look at their discovery. They're going to say it's ongoing. I mean, think about it. They had 3 months to get this done. They had 3 months to get warrants. They didn't get warrants that night. They didn't get warrants the next night. They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long to get warrants, if you believe everything that was said on the evening that it occurred.
So can you tell me,
let me take one from her because she was going last minute.
Can you say anything about the identity of RD? And then you also spoke about a social media post you had made.
Correct. So listen, I don't like when the government puts initials in and everyone takes a guess who they are. We all know who they are, right? I'm not going to say it's this person or that person. That's not my job to do. But certainly there have been media posts of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening where they're denying that it occurred or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well, because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Listen, guys, Sam and I have had many, many cases together, right? We just finished a case a couple of years ago in San Francisco on the Cash App murder case. And whenever I talk to individuals, whenever I talk to the media, I always say, this is not a straight road. It's always a very winding road. So we never know where things are going to take us. We got to look at the evidence as it comes in, and we'll see what's there. I'm just shocked that, when they say there might be video out there, they don't have it. There might be this mystery contract, they don't have it. Oh, they were at Staples, making copies. It's just a total guess. So, we're not here to guess. I'm here to look at the evidence, to weigh the evidence, and to make the best decision based on that evidence.
What your client stays in detention until what?
Yeah, currently he'll stay in detention. When we get discovery, we'll start going through that. There's going to be several motions that we're going to file, obviously, in the next couple of weeks, but that'll all come out and we'll get cut up.
So did the feds even interview any of the people? Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims? Right?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements. But I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So RD never made a statement as of now?
Not to the FBI, but that evening it appears from the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Listen, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. And if you should feel so inclined to do so, hit that hype button too. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.